Charlotte Soccer Show. Welcome back, everybody. It's your boy Danny Brams, and I'm here after just vibing and loving life. We are 1-0 in the preseason here at Charlotte FC. We're not counting the scrimmages behind closed doors. We're only counting the Coachella Valley Invitational as our on-the-record preseason games, especially because it's really easy to do that because we won. So 3-0 Charlotte over LA Galaxy. We had a ball. If you missed John and I breaking down the whole game, post-game yesterday, well, then you missed it. And you should go back on the YouTube channel and find it. We had so much fun going through all the highlights, not just the goals, but also the non-goals and some nice sequences of play that we liked. So that's going to be a regular thing here on the channel. We're going to be very much hyping up our post-game coverage this year. And, of course, we cannot abandon Decoding the Presser. Decoding the Presser is what I love to do, right? When you see Danny Brams here solo with no Johnny Hayes riding on shotgun, well, actually, he's driving, I'm riding shotgun, but when I'm out here just kind of, swerving all over the road myself, trying to host this bad boy solo, it usually means we're decoding the presser, and that's a good thing because that's something that I feel very comfortable in doing. So let's listen to Dean Smith and Hamady Diop. Without further ado, right? Let's hear what they had to say.
Evening, Dean. Hope all is well with you.
Yeah, good evening, Will. All good, thank you.
In terms of what you liked from this match, what were you able to at least see on this pitch when you came to at least this particular contest, and what do you feel like needs to improve?
I saw a real good resilience from the team. They showed lots of character. They kept going as a group. They worked extremely hard together. What I want to get better at is more control with and without the ball. I think in previous games we probably controlled the opposition better when we haven't had the ball. Certainly the first 30 minutes of the game where I thought they was better than us. But we grew into it and earned the right then to go and have our chances and our goals at the end. So, that was pleasing, and pleasing that we've seen the game out again. We've played 3 games so far, lots of changes in all the games. And they're still unbeaten. So let's make sure we continue that.
In terms of...
So right away, Dean Smith telling me, no, we're not 1-0. We're 1 and 2 draws. Dean Smith is counting the 2 earlier games behind closed doors. That's why he's the coach. And I'm just some schlub over here. But thankfully, thanks to the good people at Hopfly, you get to listen to me. So I like the answer. It's pretty generic. It's kind of your standard first answer. And as you know, if you watch a couple of these, your first few answers are where you're going to get your kind of your generic platitudes, if you will. And then hopefully things start to open up as the guys get more comfortable talking.
Taking a long look at some guys. I know you at least had a long stretch for Yuri, and the same thing for Joao Pedro at 2 positions. What have you noticed from both those guys?
The first game, they found it really hard. They looked a little bit gassed. The step up to, game situations at that level is going to be a little bit tougher, but gradually they're finding their feet. I wanted to have a look at JP at left-sided centre-back as well. He played there for the Legacy last season and did very well, got in the team of the year, and his use of the football is excellent. And Yuri as well, see what they're like when they get tired, and they were going to get tired today in a tough game. But we got to see a lot of both of them players and what they can bring for us this season.
And lastly, for me,
small thing, but I love the way that he knows that Pedro made like the team of the year last year. Even like Dean Smith got here and didn't know any of the players, but he clearly knows them all now and knows their resumes and knows what they're capable of. I thought Tavares was just sublime yesterday. Go back and watch Johnny and I's review of the match if you wanted more thoughts on that. But glad to see that Dino shouted him out, and glad that I thought Tavares was amazing, right? But Dino just was a little bit more down the road. Yeah, he did pretty good, So again, it's that coach mentality. We love to see it, and it's about setting the standard.
We got to see guys too. We got to get guys up to fitness, whether it's 60 minutes, whether it's 90 minutes, something like that.
Yeah, well, the last 2 games, I'll be trying to get at least 80, 90 minutes out of the players to make sure they're ready to go against New York City on the 24th. I think it's only 16 days away now. So, we're getting very close to that. as always happens in pre-season, you get a couple of injuries. We missed BB today. He's got a thigh strain that we're having a scan on. We've lost young Brandon as well to an injury. So that happens, and it's up to the others then to step up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, not good about injuries. We were wondering why we didn't see Bronico at all against Galaxy, and there's your answer right there, is that he's got a little bit of a thigh strain. Also, Tualoma, I think, dealing with a little bit of a hamstring. Cambridge with the foot, he mentioned. Again, I kept harping yesterday, Vargas not in camp, not injured, but the squad, in addition to being a thin roster, like it's a thin version of this thin roster. So Dean knows that he's got to get the guys in. He just told me right there, what I just heard right there is these next 2 games at Coachella are going to be a lot more about settling on the 11 and getting and stretching some legs and getting those guys ready to play 90 minutes. So I thought we might see a little bit more experimentation on Saturday against San Jose Earthquakes, but after I hear that answer, I'm changing my mind.
Carol Walton.
Hey, Dean, how are you?
I'm good, thanks, Carol. Yourself?
I'm good. I hope you're enjoying California, even though the East Coast is much better.
Yeah, I like the East Coast, I must admit.
I wanted to ask about Patrick Agyemang and Enzo. Are we to read anything to the fact that Patrick started the first half and Enzo the second? Or, are you kind of enjoying the competition between those 2 guys right now?
I wouldn't read anything into it, and I've told the players that as well. But I certainly am enjoying the competition. I think they're both very good players. And if we've got them 2 competing for one place, or we decide to play both of them, I think they're going to be a handful for defences this season. So I was pleased with both of them and have been through pre-season. So I think it's a good problem to have.
Does anyone remember this guy? I'm drawing a blank. Some Polish guy that used to play for us, Carol, or I don't know. I don't remember, but we now have a situation where we have genuine competition for the number 9 striker spot between 2 very promising players. Copetti looked amazing yesterday. He's almost seems reborn. Agyemang didn't look so good yesterday, but we know we love Big Pat. We're a big Big Pat show around here. So, and the idea that he said of them potentially playing together is a tantalizing one. I don't think we're going to see it a ton this year, but he's not ruling it out. So, hey, you never know. Again, I think by the time we see that 11 that starts against Minnesota next Saturday, about 10 days from now, or 9 days from now, I guess, I think that that will probably be our 11. So it's not so much which guy started, Copetti or Aji, this game. It's about which one starts the final preseason game.
And lastly, from me, you've mentioned that the club has been looking for help at wing and center back. How close do you think you guys are to adding a piece or 2?
Yeah, we're getting closer. I think we're negotiating with players at the moment, and hopefully we can have some movement on that soon.
Okay. Thanks, Dean.
Thank you.
All right. Let's go.
More to
Steve
come
Goldberg.
on that one.
Hey, Coach. Hope you've been enjoying the atmospheric river out there. With that, today looked like a beautiful day to play, and you had a lot of young players on the pitch for considerable amounts of time. Will youth be served on the team this year?
Will they? Sorry, did you say will they serve on the team this year?
Will youth be served? Would you see significant contributions coming from the younger members of the squad?
Yeah, I think if young players are good enough, then they're ready. I have no problems with putting young players into the team or the squad if I think they're training well and ready to step up. I mean, it's commonplace in Europe that players are making their debuts at 16, 17 years old. So I see no problem with, pushing them ahead if they look ahead of the game. And, some of them have done really well. Some have come from the legacy from last season, and some have been training with us, for all the pre-season. So they've been doing really well so far.
Well, let me rephrase it this way.
I think it's very clear that Dean Smith is good with young players. I think this point has been made very clear. What I love this as a press conference nerd, I guess, is that little moment right at the start of that exchange when Steve asked, Dean, will youth be served on this team? Sort of that phrase, youth has been served, talks about like, youth getting their chance, but it's kind of like a lost in translation moment where Dean didn't really hear him. So whenever like reporters are trying to sort of like add that sort of little poetic flair a little bit, and the interviewee doesn't quite get it, it always leads to a little funny moment like that I always that always jumps out to me anyway. But let's get a little, now Steve's gonna refine his question. This is a very good press conference technique here where you don't quite get the answer you wanted. You had the little lost in translation moment and you think, well, just ask it again.
That you think are going to be good enough at this point to be significant players over this season?
Yeah, I believe there will be. Yeah, I believe, we've got good enough young players who can have, significant amount of game time this season for us and make a really good contribution.
And a question, I guess,
well,
we're
there
all
we go.
wondering about
Asked and answered, as they say.
This, I guess he's a French player. I don't know if you pronounce his name, Trialist.
Oh, another joke. Another
scored a
joke. French
goal today and
pronunciation of
stuff.
Trialist.
Who
We
is
love
he,
it.
and what can you tell us about him?
He's a trialist from the UK who's come over, and we're having a look at him, and we'll make a decision, by the time we leave the Coachella.
Does he have another name to go by, or just the mono?
I think the name's got out there already. It's Tariq Fosu.
Okay, and what can you tell us about him? Where in the UK is he from?
He was at Brentford before. He's unattached at the moment. I think Brentford signed him from Oxford, so I know him. I've not worked with him before, but because he was unattached, we felt it was a good opportunity for us to get eyes on him. And he wanted to come out here as well. So he's found it tough the first week, but he's certainly grown into it.
And how old is he?
I don't know, about 26, I think.
Put him on the spot.
Mid-20s.
I think he's actually 28 when I looked it up. Anyway, that's some really good stuff right there. I love what Steve's doing in terms of like pushing and like getting to the answer on the trialist. Like the trialist joke didn't really land with me. Sorry, Steve, but the way that Dean tried to give like a generic answer there, he did the whole party line. Oh, he's a trialist from the UK, and Steve's like, well, does he have a name? Because it's so stupid. This whole, like, we talked about this, Johnny and I, it's almost dehumanizing this policy of like not referring to a dude's name because they're a human being, but fact of the matter, the fact is he's not signed, and so that's why they do it. They wait till he actually would become an official player, and there's probably reasons for that they're far beyond in my minuscule, puny human comprehension, but doesn't mean I agree with them. And for my money, Tariq Fosu looked pretty good out there. Let's say I'd say sign him. So let's keep going.
And stuff.
Yeah,
well, that's the Charlotte Independence picked up Gabriel Obertan, so you can find some gems that way.
You certainly can.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
Okay, David
sure Dean was having a
Gussler
lot of
and
fun
then
there,
Nick Finelli on deck.
Pretended.
Hey, Dean. So I know Willie P mentioned it earlier with some of the younger guys, but what did you think of Nicola coming in and playing some significant minutes today? What was your impression of him first? And I got a follow-up after that.
Yeah, Nicola, I've liked what I've
yeah.
seen during pre-season so far. I wanted to have a longer look at him today in a three midfield, and we wanted to go and set up without the ball a little bit different to what we have done in the first two games. We want to have different ways where we can go and win the ball back and press at times, so we've done it a little bit different today. So we only had a couple of days working on it, and I was really pleased with what the boys did. And Nicola was a big part of that. He's a very technically gifted footballer. I've told him that he needs to take a few less touches in our own half, but he's doing really well. And again, coming up from the legacy, what I think they find is they get gassed a lot quicker, with the intensity and the speed of the game. But they're starting to get used to that very quickly now.
I thought Petkovic was kind of
follow-up question is we saw
still believe in the
more
kid.
counter and pressing type play today versus what we had typically last year. How did the team perform? And I know that's something that you want to bring. Do we expect that to get improved or see that more this season?
No, it has to improve. There was a lot of things to like today, but there was things that we certainly need to work on. I thought our counter pressing was really good when we lost the ball. I thought our pressing triggers wasn't as good. I thought we got played through too many times in the first 30 minutes, and but once we got that right, as was shown with the second goal, we can be really good at that.
man, that second goal, it was never good
Thanks,
video of it, but
No worries,
man,
thank you.
the pressing on that second goal was so nice. I don't want to become like a Red Bulls type team, but if we do become a team that can turn teams over in their own half like that and turn into goal scoring transition opportunities, ooh, it's going to be nice. Real nice.
All right, thanks. Nick Finelli, you saw one?
All right, thanks. Hi, Dean.
Hi.
So I noticed in the previous press conference, Nate Burns was talking about the younger players and just everybody learning a new system and just learning and how that had to happen. Do you feel like they have fit and learned what they need in your system? And if they haven't, how do you accelerate it?
We're working on how to accelerate it by giving them constant problems to solve. They have to become really good problem solvers on a football pitch because, as I've said before, they're making decisions very quickly all the time.
What a fantastic answer. Give them problems to solve. I love it. Like, it's like the way I love to play chess, and I try to get better at chess by doing like these little daily puzzles. Sometimes you can get better just by doing little mini versions of a game. You don't necessarily have to play a full game. That's pretty cool. Well stated by Dino there.
And the only way to put them or to help them become better decision makers is to put them under constant stress to make decisions. And they're getting better. They're understanding their roles within the team. How they should be connected when we've got the ball, and the positions that we want them to take up, but also how we want to feel together when we haven't got the ball, and how we can control where the opposition go and play. So we're moving forward. We're not the finished project at all at the moment, but there's a long way to go for that, and there's going to be continual learning throughout the season.
And
Pretty
then a
generic
follow-up, I
answer there,
noticed
but
during the match today, there was
it's pretty
just kind of the style. There's a lot more attacking balls from the defenders and from deep in the midfield, especially to the centers and not to the outside wings. Is that something y'all are working on, looking at those channels and trying to get those?
I think the biggest thing for me is I want to see forwards running towards their goal. I keep speaking. Our defenders, I get them to tell the players where they would not want to be defending. And a defender is normally not wanting to run back towards his own goal. So if a team play a high line, then, by all means, go and play in behind for runners, as you saw with the first goal today with Enzo. He makes a really good deep run and it breaks the lines, and then the opposition will drop deeper and you've got spaces then to go and play through the thirds and get through. So that's something that we're constantly working on.
It just seems like they were looking for those lines a lot more than they have in the past. So thanks.
No problem.
Agreed. Good question, Nick. And I do think like the pass we highlighted from Tavares to Enzo yesterday for the first goal was insane. Definitely want to see more of that. The only issue was that line breaking pass came from a forward who had to come all the way back deep into his own half to get it. So I'm not sure that what might not have been exactly the way Dean wanted that pass to come through, but it did work out into a really nice run behind from Enzo. And they were playing a high line. So what do I know?
Okay, thanks, Nick. Let's go to Bridget with Queen's Pitch, and then we'll go to Sam Spencer after that.
Let's see what you got, Bridge.
Hi, Coach. How you doing?
Yeah, good. Thank you.
I wanted to ask a little bit about Nathan Byrne. We saw him out there on the field running around a lot today. Do you see him as being an integral part of that back defensive line, and where do you see him fitting in?
I do. I think I know of Nathan. My teams have played against him before over in England in the championship, so I knew of him before I came here. He's a very good player, very athletic, can overlap. He's a good one-on-one defender. And, he's impressed me so far with what I've seen. But he also knows that Jalen's going to push him as well for that position. So it's great to have the competition for, all positions at the moment. And, Nathan, I thought played well today. We've talked already that I feel that his end product could be better. And it's something that he needs to work on. And all players are starting to now get their, IDPs, their learning plans on what they can improve on and what we feel we can work together towards them becoming a better player.
Dino.
Thank you. And then one more thing.
Dino, give me an IDP so I can learn how to become a better podcaster. Come on, bro. I need some help, Coach. Good question. Love to hear about Byrne. Just being friends with Bridget, I can tell you that she used to hate Byrne and just rage against his mistakes, but he's come a long way, both in his performances and in his relationship with Ms. McCall and the Queen's Pitch podcast. But yeah, I love the answer. What we're seeing here is really like a masterclass from Dino, because it would have been so easy, you know, with everything going on, to like come out after a nice 3-0 win, and you never really were threatened, and you scored some good goals, and you say, oh, we're looking great, everything's clicking the way I want it to. But Dino's like tempering expectations. This is what a good manager does. When you have a nice win, you can't get too high or too low, right? Every good manager, that's one of the things that's said most about good managers in any sport, is they never get too high or too low. They're always right down the middle. And you know, that's Dino. That's clearly what we're getting in Dino. And he's just having fun up there. You can look at him. He's loving these questions because it gives him a chance to just like spout off and throw a few platitudes over here, a few cliches over there, but it's all good. But he doesn't hesitate with all the praise for Byrne, and that ball from Byrne to Arfield in the first half, like 30 minutes in, was freaking sublime. He still makes sure to mention Jalen Lindsey. He doesn't let Lindsey fall out of the picture. He mentions he focuses on the competition for the guys who have good performances, and that is the sign of a great manager.
Drew Privet played today. We saw him as a center back last year. Do you see him playing a center back this year, or could we see him in the midfield? Where is his place in the squad this year?
Well, firstly, I see him as a centre back. I think he's got all the characteristics that a centre back can have. He's good on the ball. He reads the game well. He can get better aerially. He knows that, and he can get better positionally. But I wanted to also look at him as a number 6 as well, because I think that could be his second best position, and somewhere where he's played during his college days as well. So that would probably be more a comfortable position for him. That I just think the traits that he has would probably give him a centre back as first choice.
Andrew
Thank
Privet,
you so much.
you're a center back now.
Sam, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, great job today.
Hey, Sam.
So first
I love
off,
how he doesn't respond to the
wanted
compliment. He just says
go
hi.
back to a comment you've said before. You know, in earlier press conferences, you've said the designated players, just like everybody else, have to compete for their place in the starting 11. Are you operating the same way with goalkeepers? Because we definitely saw some rotation of goalkeepers today, and maybe not as didn't see as much clean as we thought we would.
Yeah, no, I mean, the goalkeepers will all rotate during pre-season to make sure they all get minutes. We need everybody to be ready to start the season, not catching up. But Kalina's absence today was due to him going back to Croatia to pick up his green card, and we hope to have him back now for the last pre-season friendly.
And second, can you talk to us about your work with Enzo Capetti? Obviously, you know, scored.
That's some big news. That's some news I was not aware of. So good on Sam for pulling that out. I didn't know that. We knew Vargas was in Colombia working on green card stuff. We didn't know Kalina was back in Croatia working on green card stuff. But that's good, because like, as much as we love to trade for international spots here at Charlotte SC, the more we can do to like get these guys citizenship status to not count against our international slots, the better. So that's cool. I think there's some huge news. Most of y'all already know the big news that just came out of this presser, and I think this is where we're about to get. I had not watched this before, but as I'm sort of putting it all together into my mind, I think we're about to get the quote-unquote bombshell drop here shortly.
A goal today, opening up the barricades for the team, but there have been some rumors that honestly I want to help put to bed, that he's looking at going somewhere else. I think most of us know that that's not true. But can you talk about how you've been developing with him in the preseason, and what your expectations are for him as we move towards the first league match?
Yeah, well, I think we can put that to bed straight away. He's a Charlotte FC player and will stay that way this season. We're not looking to offload him. He's an integral part of the squad, and as you saw today, you know, he's hard running and he knows where the goal is. You know, won the foul for the free kick and scored a good goal as well. Made a difference when he came on at half time, but he knows as well as anybody that he's going to be competing with Patrick as well, and it's going to be some real healthy competition this season.
And then finally, the similar question with Big Pat. Obviously, we're going to have him this season. How have you been working with him in the preseason?
A lot of it has been making sure they're not doing too much work outside of the penalty box, to be honest. We want them to be getting in there because that's where goals are scored. We want them to be making more
Seems
deep
smart.
runs to make sure that we're making their back line as honest as possible. And I think both of them have the strengths of, centre backs will not want to play against them two in this league if they keep making the correct runs. And we've been working on that, and we've been working on their finishing as well.
Thank you, Coach. Have fun in California.
Thank you, Sam.
Okay, let's go to
All
Mikael.
right, so I was
and then
wrong. I
Steven,
did
we
not
have a
get the
follow-up, so
bombshell
we'll
answer I was
interview,
looking
okay?
for there. We keep going.
Hey, Coach, I'm Mikael from Pittside, Brazil. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you, Mikhail. You okay?
Yeah, great. Wanted to
Good.
ask you about João Pedro's performance today, not only for the game specifically, but during the preseason so far.
Yeah, pre-season, he's impressed me. He's a very technical player. He's got a really good passing range. He understands where people are on the pitch. He's good. He's got really good technical abilities. But he's only young and he's still learning. There was an instance in training yesterday where he went to ground in the box, and I was speaking to him about how that he could possibly give a penalty away in a game doing that. And it was almost the exact situation later on in the game happened, and he stayed on his feet and ended up giving a corner away. It probably should have been a goal kick, but it just shows me that he's very good at taking on information and learning very quickly. But we have to realise he is young still. He's still learning, but there's a lot of potential there.
And also wanted to
Man, I
ask you
love
about
João
Yuri Tavares.
I love João Pedro, but you see the way Dino kind of praises him a lot there. I mentioned earlier how sort of some of the guys he would praise, but then sort of mention the competition. He doesn't mention any competition or anything for João Pedro because João Pedro is the competition. He's the guy that's pressing to steal a job. And I think, when you hear a manager rave like that, the way we just did, it certainly is a possibility.
He's currently a Crown Legacy player, but how is he doing with the preseason with you guys?
Yeah, he's doing really well. He's a little bit different, Yuri. I like what he brings. He's got, again, really good technical ability. He handles the ball probably a little bit different to other players. He's got really good balance, and there'll be opposition players that are thinking he hasn't got the ball under control, but we know that he has with the skills that he has, and I think he could be a player that could surprise a few players this season, and I see him being a big part of what we do.
So do you think there's a big chance that he'll be with the main team this season, or has that not been decided yet?
No, I think there's a big chance that he will be there because I've certainly liked what I've seen.
All right. Thank you so much. You have a good night.
We never sign any players. We never sign anybody. Well, we just got Yuri Tavares, who had a sick assist yesterday and looked really, really good running up and down the wing all night. So, that's kind of what the whole Crown Legacy thing was last year, was getting like really good players and getting them sort of into the system so they could come up and be the fresh blood through the ranks. You don't always have to go sign a whole new team every year. You can just bring in some new guys from your youth team. And that's really encouraging to hear that Tavares is on the verge of making the first team and being with the top squad. Because he crushed it for Legacy last year, scored a ton of goals and assists. And his game, again, you got to consider the opponent. We're playing against the B team of a bad club, LA Galaxy. But, I mean, Tavares looked great yesterday, and I can't wait to see him play more. I'd love to see what he can do in MLS. Like Dean says, if you're good enough, you're old enough.
Night.
Thank you, and you.
Okay,
Thank you.
final question with Steve Goldberg.
Hi, Dean. Just wanted to circle back on just in the chatterverse of fans and such with the departures of Joswiak and Swiderski to Europe. People are, there are some fans out there in panic mode already, thinking that it's all over, thinking that the close of the European window was a close of everything, even though they could actually read what the rules are. And Woody was helpful in clearing me up on that. What can you say about, do you expect to have two DPs in before the end of this window?
Here it is.
Are you patient that you could wait till summer to fill one or both? Or
we will certainly have one, I would have thought, covered before the season starts and kicks off, if not two. it's something that we're working on. You know, I let everybody know before we traveled to Miami my thoughts. You know, with Camille, and we wish him well at Granada now. Now he's gone there.
We do wish him well.
You know, but Carroll had intimated that he wanted to go back to Europe. So, you know, I was pretty cool with that. I don't want players at the club who don't want to be here. We want players.
Also, he wasn't as good as Patrick Agyemang.
Fighting for the crown and the jersey, and you know what we've got now is players who want to be here and a really good squad mentality at the moment. So that's important, as well as bringing in new players as well.
And are there any?
There it is. That's so glad that Steve jumped back in here, the dogged reporter that he is. Steve, bravo, MVP of the presser today. Steve, you did it. Everybody did a good job out there, but Steve, you were the one that jumped out because you circled back, you came back in for another round and got this answer out of Dean. That is huge news. We will be, according to Dean, bringing 1, possibly 2 designated players before the New York City game in 2 weeks. So, you know, Zoran's working overtime. You know, Thomas is working overtime. You know, the whole Ben O'Greeno is working overtime. The whole damn team. Anyone I forgot or haven't met yet, I apologize. But a new DP and possibly 2 before the season starts is music to the ears of all Charlotte fans who were worrying that this was going to happen. Remember, I'd said this the whole damn time. And then I even kind of backed off it. I was like a month ago, I was like, Camille will be gone, a new DP will come in. Camille will be gone, a new DP will come in. Camille will be gone, a new DP will come in. I'd tell anybody that was listening. And then it took so long for Camille to leave that I was like, maybe it won't happen. So I kind of backed off the second half of that mantra. But now I should have had faith in Dean. I should have trusted Dino because he knows what he means. Oh.
Specific positions you're targeting with these DPs?
Yeah, we've still been looking as a left-sided centre back. We're looking at a midfielder.
Hopefully
and
not
also,
as a DP.
You know, a bit of pace up front as well on the sides.
Okay, and is just on a personal note, is Jamie going to be playing for Triumph again?
He's back in training now. Yeah, he's back in full-time training. So he phones me up every night telling me how hard he's worked. So which is always pleasing for me.
Okay, that's great. Well, let us
Great
know
dad
when that
moment right
friendly
there.
is gonna be
Love a
scheduled.
dad moment.
I will do, Steve. No worries.
Best of luck out there, Coach. And you look,
Thank you.
Dean Smith, you look wonderful in Carolina blue.
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Steve. And thank you, everyone else. Guys, if you want to stick around for a second.
How many more
players
times
wrapping up the
will
meeting.
we
We'll have
hear
Hamady
that
Diop
joke
here
this
for
year?
a couple quick
Probably
questions once Dean leaves. So thanks, everyone.
times.
Thanks.
Dino, we love you. Great job. Great presser. Now let's hang on though, because we're not done yet. We still got something to do. Hamady Diop.
All right.
takes the mic.
Hey, guys.
Let's
Welcome
go.
back. We've got Hamady Diop here for you. If
Shout out Will
everyone
Martin for
is
running this
still
whole thing.
online. And we can get a couple questions in for Hamady after he scored a free kick today. So Steve Goldberg, start with you.
Hi, Hamady. Good to talk to you again. Thanks for your time the other evening for that story. Scoring goals. I think you
Hamady
had
Diop
5 at
profile coming up,
Clemson
maybe.
over the years. It's like, were you taking free kicks there?
Yeah, I was lucky enough they allowed me to take free kicks. So yeah, I did take some there.
And the difference now is like, how is it that you earned this opportunity? You know, with the professional side now and stuff, with a lot of good, you know, free kick takers on the team.
To be honest, I just turned around, didn't see Ashley Westwood there, so I was like, yeah, thanks. Thank you so much chance to take it. And it was, you know,
What an amazing answer.
on the left side too. So I was like, yeah, me and Jelani were on the left foot on the team. So I was like, yeah, I think it's my time to take my chance.
Okay, and you're going into your second professional season. How are you feeling about that? Are you 100% in your comfort zone now about where this is going and your spot in the club?
Yeah, I'm truly excited. You know, last year obviously didn't go as planned, but yeah, going now as a
To
second
say the least.
year in the team, you know, I'm pretty excited and see what this is gonna hold. Hopefully, it doesn't get as bad as last year, to be honest.
And
Anything except what happened last year for Hamady. This is really cool. I love, like, it's definitely a different vibe when you're talking to a young player who's not used to sort of offering extended extemporaneous thoughts like this in response to questioning. But I love hearing. This is the first time I've ever heard Hamady speak, so that's pretty cool. I love getting to hear a voice, put a voice to the face, if you will. And seems like a really good kid. You can tell he's happy. I love that thing where he's like, well, Ashley Westwood wasn't on the pitch, so I decided to just step up and kick it myself, and I scored a goal. That's very cool. I guess that means we can expect Westwood to be the free kick taker, although Diop took a corner. So who knows? But very cool. Just like I love that at the end of that answer right there where he goes, let's just hope we don't turn out like things did last year. Yeah, I think everyone can agree with that one,
You
Hamady.
feel you're in a good position to play a significant part in the club's defense this season?
I always felt like I could help the team, It's just different opinions. Sometimes it happens, there's nothing you can do. So obviously as I said, I'm like excited and I think I can help the team achieve their goals this year.
Sometimes your asshole coach puts you in for 30 minutes, then pulls you and never plays you again. So that happens in soccer sometimes.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Steve. Nick Finelli. How about it?
Thanks. Hey, Hamady. Nice strike there today. That feel good coming off the foot?
Yep. Appreciate it, man.
So I was going to ask, so last season, well, just everybody's had a new opportunity this season with a new coach, new situation, and especially yours. I feel like, you got a chance to kind of make yourself from what we got you for. So what were some of the things you learned from last season, just going through everything?
I just think it's a fair start for everyone on the team. So I think everyone get their opportunity to show what they are made of, especially in the, first weeks that we've been together. So it's a new coach, new coaching staff, basically. So I think it's just a fair start, obviously. I mean, last year was just, it's just different. So people were talking about it, but I just didn't believe it. Being a first year in the league and like second year is completely different. So right now I come with a little bit more experience, nothing crazy, but
Right.
I think I learned a lot from last year, not just, it didn't go as planned, but I still get to learn. So
I think we've covered this ground. Last year was hard.
So what things did you work on or concentrate in the off season to make sure that you were presenting your best play?
The major thing was just staying healthy, man. That's my major thing this year, just staying healthy. It don't matter if the coach play me last year or not, but if I'm not available, it's no good for anyone, no good for the teams, no good for the coaching staff, no good for the fans. So I'm just excited to be healthy. I know 100% that I'll get my opportunity. So I just need to stay healthy, and then we'll see.
All right. Thank you.
Of course. Thank you.
Mostly generic stuff
Mikael,
here.
see
Let's
your
see
hand.
where it goes next.
Hey, I'm Mikael from Pitside, Brazil. Quick question. I wanted to know what the biggest difference you see between Dean Smith and all the other coaches that you've worked with in the past.
Great question.
Throw
Laddie under the bus.
We haven't been together a long time, so it's really hard to tell. But I think it's just a relationship that he's trying to build between him and his players completely different. Obviously, I've seen at Clemson, my coach was like that. So it's just based off relationship, and trust. So he's trying to build that. I think that's mostly that, and his desire of winning. He like young players that are willing to learn. So I think that's a huge difference.
All right, that's all I got. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Mikael.
Never forget, y'all. Never forget that Hamady Diop, we traded up in the 2023 Super Draft. We traded up to the #1 spot to get this kid. I mean, this is a kid that almost forgotten all year last year, just kind of banished and almost treated as just a total whiff and a miss by the previous regime. And now he's in here. Dean's building a relationship. This is like a recovered asset. This is like something, I hate to treat players like commodities, but if you do think of that way, this is like an investment that we made that looked like it was going to zero because of poor management. And now proper management is bringing this back. Could turn out to be one of our best investments. Like Johnny was saying yesterday, why can't Diop be that left-footed center back that Dino's looking for? I don't see any reason why not, to be perfectly honest.
All for Hamady Diop. Cool. Yeah, Bridget, let's go.
Hi, Hamady. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. First of all, do you get to watch any college basketball?
I did. I just watched the Clemson game against the UNC yesterday.
Yes, they beat them at the Dean Dome. Sadly, I'm a Tar Heel fan, but I still love Clemson too. So,
See, asking me the wrong question
coming off
again.
your
Buttering him up, though. That's smart.
no, it's
actually the
great.
right way.
And you have a couple of your teammates now that you get to still play with, so I bet you enjoy that. As in Marks and coming off your injury last year, how tough was it? How tough was it to get back into shape and to get back into the mindset of being able to just get out there and do the best that you can?
It really wasn't tough. I mean, I'm a believer, so it's things happen for a reason. I just needed to take my time, be back 100%, and that's just what I believe. When I'm 100% with my capabilities, things are going to be different. Talks are going to be different, and then, as I said again, we'll just see what's this year hold for all of us.
And so, do you have any personal goals for this year?
I will share that next time you ask me. So
He does. He has his personal
right
goals
now.
for sure.
We have faith
But
in
very
you.
good.
We have faith in you. We hope to see you out there
Awesome.
starting.
Awesome.
So, good luck on that. That's all I have. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, Nick, I see you unmuted, so we can finish with you.
Oh, no. It's fine. I was going to say he's got to look at his IDP, right?
Oh, Nick, bringing it full circle. Love the term. That was really cool. Like, I don't necessarily think like the details of what Hamady said there were all that great. The Westwood joke was really funny, but what I love from this kid, apart from that awesome smile there that you see, is the confidence. This guy, this is the first time I really sort of got a window into like the quiet confidence that Hamady has, and very impressive. I'm really like, yesterday was like great for Charlotte FC fans because Diop was reborn, Tavares showed out, Copetti starred, Byrne and Arfield looked great in the first half. I mean, things were really looking up for Charlotte FC, and Hamady Diop, big part of that. Very thankful to the club for sending him out to talk to us because it was great to hear from him. So that's Decoding the Presser. This is what we do. There's really not much more to say. We're looking forward to the game on Saturday. Taping this live on an early Thursday morning before I get my day started. So thanks to the few of y'all who did pop in to say hello and watch it live. Definitely this is more of a hoping people watch it after the fact and whatnot. But shout out to Jorge Torres and Christopher Madera for checking in at least, and everybody else who watched live. I'm Danny Brams, back with Johnny Hayes soon. Huge things happening on Charlotte Soccer Show. Thank you to Hopfly for making it all possible. It's for the crown, baby.